this is Erin, Katie, and Adia, and we are 29 and chronically online. Before we get into this episode, I just wanted to remind you of a few things. We are on Instagram at 29and.co, and we're on TikTok at 29andco. You should follow us wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. And we also have a YouTube channel, so you can watch our video episodes there. We thank you so much for your support. And now on to the tea.
Welcome back, everyone. We are 29 and chronically online. And as you may see on the screen, today we are talking about paranormal romance. So I know this is a niche topic specific to me. So there's not time for questions at the end. Ask them whenever you want. I am open to any questions, comments, concerns, and yeah, that's kind of that. I guess I do have a slide talking about what paranormal romance is, but I do want to ask you both, what do you think it is?
So I think it's fiction.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
fiction.
Okay. I was going to say, because if it's nonfiction, then it's a whole other topic. I think it's fiction, romance, involving paranormal characters, like...
Yeah, let's get some examples.
like vampires.
Yeah.
Or like werewolves.
Yeah.
Or, I just want to say ogres for some reason because of Shrek. I don't know.
You're on the right track.
Okay, good. Because like Shrek is essentially a paranormal romance if you think about it.
That is so true.
Okay.
Princess Fiona.
Exactly.
This
there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Erin, anything to add? Anything?
That's so funny. Yeah, I was just going to say not human, or maybe both
I love
person,
that.
like both things human romance.
I love the human designation thing because that, it is generally, and this is on a slide, when one or both of the characters are like non-human. They're preternatural, supernatural.
What's the first one?
So preternatural is something like kind of new that I learned.
Ooh, and it's a dictionary.
It's right, exactly. It's like when we just don't know about it yet. Like it's something that we might figure out in the future, or
like
it might be real. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So learn that. That's like new.
Right.
Although a lot of this, well, whatever. We got a mix. We got a whole slew of things. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
So this is also known as AKA Edward Cullen and Jacob Black ruined my life. As you'll see, I wrote, if I'm really honest with myself, Jacob Black started this whole thing. I love Edward Cullen, but I really was reflecting this week when creating this PowerPoint, and that werewolf energy was like hitting for me.
It did.
So yeah. Don't get me wrong, love a good vampire, but like there are definitely pros and cons to both. I put an example when in Eclipse, the third book / third movie, when Jacob, is it in the third one? Yeah, it's in the third one. When he has to hug Bella for warmth and like in the mountains in a tent, and I like Edward's like sitting there watching, and he's jealous because he's cold and like can't warm her up, and she's like basically on the edge of hypothermia. It's like that is like kind of hot. Like
Okay.
I don't remember seeing that. Maybe.
Oh, well,
I don't think I've watched Eclipse, so that's probably why.
that's like
Or read it.
a lot of people hate that one. I liked it.
I gotta watch it now for that scene.
Yeah, so I was actually also thinking, you know how I was like, I don't really like Harry Potter, and you're like, but the fall vibes, like Twilight is my Harry Potter for fall. Like I watched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Over the weekend, I watched Twilight, New Moon, and like
Yeah.
unprompted. Like I knew this was happening, but I was not like, let me refresh. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm in the mood.
Okay, I can see that.
I also wanted to make a note. This does not apply to Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
This is strictly Jacob Black. Like
I was going
as a
to
character.
ask because Taylor is a whole different like entity outside of Jacob Black.
Exactly. And I'm not denying that he's like, I'm not saying he's not hot. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they are definitely separate entities.
For sure.
And also he was like 16 when these movies were filmed. So like that is separate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What about Shark Boy?
Oh, he was like 12. Are you saying, do I think he's hot?
Like when we were that age.
Yeah, when we were that age.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
Shark Boy.
For
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Did you guys like that movie?
Yeah, I loved Shark Boy.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
I mean, it was a bop.
He's
George
been-
Lopez with his huge head.
Huge head, yeah. Okay. Would that be classified as paranormal romance? Shark Boy? It's not really paranormal.
You know, honestly, I do think it would fall under the umbrella. Okay. Yeah, like if there were a book, it would be in that
I'll take
section
of the
store probably.
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
Okay, ready.
Yes.
This is what we came for.
Right. This felt important to me. So I am not an expert. Let's throw that out there. I will definitely be missing someone's favorite monster, favorite series, favorite author. I am only human. I cannot read all of these books. There are definitely authors on my list that I haven't gotten to yet, and so they are not in this PowerPoint, and that is that on that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not an expert. So if you have opinions, keep them to yourself. Not you guys. I'm talking to the listeners now. And
yes.
And if you have recommendations, you can find me on Instagram at Katie the Man. Anyway, moving on. If you know me in real life for the next hour, you do not know me in real life.
Okay.
That includes both of you.
Noted.
Okay.
All my opinions are my own and do not reflect the podcast or Book Talk as a whole. Yeah, I think that one's self-explanatory.
Oh, I can't wait to dive into Book Talk.
No.
This is PG/PG-13.
Oh.
Unless you guys ask certain questions. And I'm not going to prompt anything. I'm just saying, again, back to the point of if you know me in real life, like I had to disconnect a little for this. So
okay.
I will take questions though. I think that I will take questions.
She's like, wait.
I just made this like an hour ago. So I remember some of this, but I felt like this was very important and had to include. Anyway, moving on. What is it? We brought into this a little bit already. One or both of the main characters have preternatural, supernatural abilities. It's giving fantasy on steroids, but there is also more romance. These are separate from fantasies, and that brings me to the next point. Excluded in our review is God-type books, retellings. Examples are Percy Jackson, Hades, and Persephone retellings because those are literally crack, and I'm obsessed with them, but they do not count. And mythology books just generally because there's a lot of them out there, but they do not feel in the same realm as these, in my opinion. So I did not include them. Those books, to me, give more fantasy, even if there is romance, but these books are based in romance and have fantasy elements. Those are based in fantasy and have romance elements. Okay. So like the opposite.
Makes sense.
So the main romance with others.
Right. Okay. At least like from my perception. All of this is in my opinion.
Of course.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
This makes sense.
It's
makes
fine.
sense.
But yeah, that is that on that. So now I would like to open up the floor. Before we get too far in, I wanted your opinion on, some people say, how could you like paranormal romance? How could you like monster romance? And, let's talk about hot fictional characters for a second, because I think that's important.
Yes.
And hot animated characters. I included them both. Do you guys, I know this is on the spot. Anybody come to mind for you guys? I do have some examples that I pulled out of my own noggin, but
100%. Danny Phantom.
I love that answer.
1,000%.
I literally love that answer.
Yes.
Anything else come to mind? If not, it's really okay. Okay. Yeah. I did kind of leave Marvel off.
Professor X from Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking like Professor Xavier from X-Men.
The bald man?
Yeah.
No.
Well, look at Dia. I'm doing a fucking monster PowerPoint.
No.
I'm not here to...
Professor X from Powerpuff Girls. The dad. The dilf.
Love that.
The dad, truly. I would say one of mine is from the anime Haikyuu. His name is Daichi. He's a hot man. So
yeah.
I did not include anime on this but that's just fine. Also separate. But that is a good point for sure. Mm-hmm. So, okay, kind of a controversial start. I know the first two photos. Please do not look at me.
Okay, no. First of all, yeah.
The first one, yes.
I agree. Oh,
I didn't know we were going across the whole gender spectrum.
I know.
Here.
I'm sorry. I literally was.
I would have named like Jessica Rabbit.
Okay, for sure. Yeah.
The green M&M.
Okay.
The green M&M.
Let's open the door.
I agree.
Love that.
I agree.
This is my own personal. Actually, this is not just me. I was talking to my sister, and she brought this up separately from me without me prompting. We love Bill Nighy in this house.
I can't do the barnacles.
That's fine.
Because I have trypophobia.
I kind of get that, actually.
So
it doesn't change my
honestly,
mind.
I was just recently watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm not going to lie to you, like sometimes when he was like talking too closely with the like mouth, I was like,
because he's like
giving me the
spitting.
yuck.
Yeah,
But I was
yeah.
like, I love him and I love the energy.
I think it's the energy, if we're honest. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
definitely, well, as we've discussed, like the Riz in Pirates
Yeah.
of the Caribbean, just
Yeah.
generally
Yeah.
speaking, is like on its own level.
Agreed.
Who's next? This is questionable.
Oh, so we're doing
So he's a merman.
Fictional. Yes.
Yeah,
13th
yeah.
year, huge crush.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, I'm like, he's not as cute as I remember, like when I was looking up photos, but at the time,
Oh, yeah.
like 1999 or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely not remember seeing this picture right now.
Right.
What
exactly.
about Luck of the Irish when he was?
First of all, love the
Oh, well, he's not next. Sorry.
Yes.
He is so fucking hot. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Green eyes, white hair.
I included the face from you. You don't think he's hot? Not even like a little bit. Crickets. Okay, that's fine. That's
Oh,
fine.
I thought Adia was like gonna say.
No, Adia's like, let me leave this room right now.
I loved him as Beast, but then when he turned into a human,
I'm literally obsessed with that, Erin. Yes, that is so true.
I, feel
I
like
agree.
Quasimodo's going to be on here now.
He isn't, but it crossed my
Quasimodo.
mind last night, actually.
Okay.
Who's next? I don't know much about him.
He has
since
the
we're
Riz.
here,
He has
since
the
we're at
Riz.
Robin Hood, we need to talk about what's her name, Mary.
I could not tell
girl.
you. Oh, okay. Let's talk
Girl
about her.
Fox, She
Mary?
was hotter than him.
Ooh, okay. I didn't include her on here, unfortunately, but
No, it's
I will
fine.
take your word for
We
it.
believe you. Yes.
There he is,
Yes.
our leprechaun
There he
legend.
Yes.
No, he might be one of the hottest ones besides Danny Phantom on this list.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I wanted to be a leprechaun so bad.
me too.
After that
and
movie.
I thought, because I looked him up, obviously, and then the other guy came up, and he's a villain for a reason. He's not,
Yeah,
not giving
exactly.
for me. We might be close to the end. Oh, okay. So this is funny because Scott specifically requested a Pixar mom, so
because
she's on here.
The figure, for
I mean,
sure.
come on,
Come
this-
on.
this
Look at
screen
This
grab?
is incredible.
This
Come
is the
on.
first, when I typed in Pixar moms, this is literally the first photo that
is
came
that
up.
AI? I feel like that's AI.
Could be.
I don't
Couldn't tell
remember
you.
her
There's like
doing that.
There's like 3 Incredibles movies though, so it's very possible.
True.
Okay, this is controversial.
Gargoyles?
Yes.
The gargoyles.
Yes. I do not personally get it quite yet. This is very popular on Book Talk. So like when I see paranormal like or monster romance like recommendations come on my page, all the comment section is filled with like the gargoyle show. And so I did start watching an episode earlier this week because I was like, I kind of want to know what the hype is.
Yeah.
It's kind of not giving, but I wanted to include it for the Book Talk girlies because it is way popular. And
If you had to choose one, which one?
the purple one or the blue one?
That's what I was going to say.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Definitely not the green.
It might be honestly just those two they're talking about. I really couldn't tell you.
I think so.
When the blue one came on screen, I was like, sorry, the blue on the right. I see now there's kind of 2 blues. Like the big guy and then
Okay,
the girl.
yeah.
Like
Okay, yeah.
When she came on screen, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Like I think I get it.
If I saw the brown one, I would be terrified.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
The green one's kind of giving orc, but like worse.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't like him. Anyway, had to include for the girls.
Love
so that brings me to my next point, which Erin has already mentioned. The biggest glow down, and you cannot change my mind, is when the beast turns into that white man.
Yeah.
And I have a TikTok, but we do not have to watch it because it's going to open in the browser and it's going to be annoying. But it's basically her agreeing with this and saying, like, people who don't get monster romance, like, you can't tell me that he was not hotter as the beast. And I would just have to agree with that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I still don't understand like the body workings of the beast because the neck starts back
So-
here, but the head's
I think that's where you have to
Down
suspend your
here.
belief to just like go with it.
Okay,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm not like here for the mechanics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
generally.
I think about how the body's operated like once his clothes are off
Right.
and it's
I
like
see.
what's going on there.
Yeah, I definitely
But-
haven't thought about that. Also have not read a book about him specifically. Although there was one that was close. It was fine.
It makes sense. Okay.
Where it all started.
Here we go.
You're going to love this, I
Okay.
think. I'm going to get there. So this all started because of 9/11, and I did not know this until recently. However, you're going to get it in a second, and it's not going to be as funny.
Oh, stop. Okay. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so we start, obviously, with 9/11. And that's fine. We love that. So the thing is, no, okay, that's not what I mean here. I'm thinking separately. So the thing is, so 9/11 happened, and it inspired a lot in pop culture, and it inspired a lot in the world, and it inspired Mr. Gerard Way to make My Chemical Romance. And that band got big and popular, and we stan. And then a fan of them, Miss Stephanie Meyer, wrote Twilight because of them, which has also led us now to the 50 Shades of Grey universe, because that is a fan fiction of Twilight. So really, this all could have been avoided had that event not happened. I may never have been in this whole thing without this. Maybe not because Pirates of the Caribbean existed, but also we can't say this isn't why that I'm in it.
So we're going to have to add to the list of Osama bin Laden's war crimes.
Right.
Getting Katie involved in
Monster
romance, getting My Chemical Romance started, Twilight.
100%. The whole thing. $1 billion industry. Osama did that.
Oh.
I'm sorry. This is just like, it is what it is. That's what happened.
The wildest connection I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be.
I
feel like I've heard this connection before, but it's still
it is popular right now.
I thought it was like a conspiracy.
Pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you put it there, it's like...
Right. And I will say, it definitely, like, I did not think about it this way, generally. Like, I was thinking Twilight... Again, maybe Pirates of the Caribbean on a lesser extent, because I just feel like Twilight like revolutionized the world, truly. Like, I mean, $1 billion industry, 5 movies.
That's true.
I mean, they're doing a remake, Pats and well, supposedly. There's like not much news about it yet, but like they're supposed to be doing one. I don't know. Also, things just keep coming out about Twilight not on the way here because I don't have service, but when I got here, I was on Twitter, Josh Peck was a finalist for like Edward Cullen.
There's no way.
He said that on his podcast.
He's lying.
He said he was 1 out of the final 4.
He's lying.
I agree.
He's lying.
I agree.
There's no
way. But imagine if he was.
It would not have popped off the way that it did, for sure.
Not.
For sure.
Absolutely not. There's no...
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm just like trying to think of. I just want to know who he would have been.
No,
but
really,
he would have been Edward. That's what he said.
Oh,
right.
Okay,
he can't carry a franchise like. I think this brings me to the blueprint. This is where things really popped off. So, like, obviously, Twilight existed. Okay. However, at the same time, the show was airing. So, Twilight comes out in 2008. Vampire Diaries first airs September of 2009. September 2008. Actually, whatever. 2008, 2009. Either way, it was in the works at the same time as Twilight. It was not. This did not exist because Twilight was popular. They were being made at the same time, and they just so happened to be released around the same time, and also both to critical acclaim. This show, I was young. I had an impressionable mind. I was in 9th grade, and I was obsessed.
Yes.
This shit was on my wall. We watched this weekly.
It shaped.
Sure. Yeah. For sure. And... same time frame as Twilight, but there is way more content. 8 seasons, 45-minute episodes, 22 episodes a season.
Remember when seasons used to be like that?
It was
Those were the good days. 45, 22. Those were the good days.
It was.
Now we get 15 minutes and 2 episodes, and then it's canceled.
Or 13 episodes, and it's a limited series, and it's like, what's the point? I mean, they ran the show into the ground. Nina Dobrev left at season 5 or 6, and like they went for 2 more seasons. So
this show really put Bad Boys on the map.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
The brooding, like,
for sure.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Vampires, werewolves, sirens, the devil, doppelgangers, hybrids, witches. Way more of an involved universe. Season 8. Oh, okay, we don't talk about her much. Also, the devil was season 8.
Season 8.
Yeah.
We're skipping season 8 then.
we kind of are, but I felt like it should be included because they really did whatever the fuck they wanted. They said, vampires and werewolves, we'll give you both.
Yeah.
There were people that were both.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, that's the hybrids. So this is the whole thing. Also, we're going to get to that. Okay. So the thing with the hybrids is it was a very, it was rare, I guess you could say. So there was one hybrid. His name's Klaus Michelson. I don't know how far. If you might have
Klaus,
seen.
He's like blonde.
I guess so.
Blonde?
I wonder if he's in that photo.
Spoiler. I was gonna watch it.
It's been out for how many years? This whole PowerPoint is a spoiler. I'm sorry.
I was gonna watch it.
Okay, that also doesn't spoil the whole show. There's also two whole spin-off shows about him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
But so he, as a human, had like the way that werewolves work in the Vampire Diaries world is like you're born with the gene, and then when you kill someone on the next full moon, you transition into a werewolf because you've like taken a life. So as a human, he had the werewolf gene, but then was turned into a vampire before that went into effect, I believe. I might be a little off, so don't come for me.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so he turned into a vampire, but then 203, I think it was 500 years later, they needed like doppelganger blood. That's Elena. She has people who look exactly like her that live throughout life. And they needed her blood to like make him a hybrid because he was just a vampire. He was one of the original vampires and then whatever. So they were hybrids. That was crazy. His blood then turned other people into hybrids. So they were werewolves and vampires and they could shift at will. So that was a whole thing. I mean,
I'm watching this.
Oh, they did that with the show for sure.
This. All right.
And people died and came back to life every episode. I mean, it was like the blueprint, like truly. I still, this is just like Twilight. I watch this like once or twice a year.
Oh, heck yeah.
Not once or twice.
I literally, this is my Mystic Falls sweatshirt.
Oh, please show what t-shirt you're wearing too.
Oh yeah, my t-shirt is also my Charlie Swan t-shirt from Twilight.
We love
Bella's
Charlie
dad.
Swan.
I love that.
He's not a supernatural creature, however, I just felt like the moment. Yeah. Not moving on quite yet. I wanted to include, this was also based on a book. They were written in the 1990s by like, I don't know, by a ghostwriter, I guess. Like their name was L.J. Smith and they wrote like, I don't know, 5 books, something like that. I have read 3 of them, I think. They're okay. The show divulges far away from where the books went. Like there were angels in the books and there are not angels in the show. Although the devil's there, so whatever. Oh. Anyway, it goes way off the rails. There are hints of the book in the show, but whatever. Anyway, so just all that to say that low-key Vampire Diaries was first.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. We literally love them. I don't remember what's next. Oh, so now we get into the I don't know, the photo moment of this whole thing. Yeah. So that was the main request, is that you guys wanted to see like what is this about?
Yes.
So I collected some photos from like notable supernatural creatures that I've read books about.
Is this like fan art or is this like
It's kind of a mix. Okay. It's kind of a mix because not everything had fan art, but then also not all fan art had things that I wanted included. Okay. So, he's kind of, he's not really blacked. This is the fan art of Edward Cullen. So like, that's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's,
the eyes got me.
So I had to include it. Yeah. Yeah. This is the inspo of one of my favorite authors, vampires. So he's not actually a vampire, but like she literally posted this on her Instagram, was like, this is the inspo for Devraj. And I was like, I literally love him. Devraj makes an appearance like 3 or 4 times on this. It's fine. Kind of boring, kind of bland, but this book pops off. His name's Ruben. We love him.
What's monster is he?
He's a vampire. They're all vampires.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. This is also Devraj. We love him. Him again. This is my favorite one of him, like the fan art. His book, it's a vampire book. So he is a vampire from the Stay a Spell series world. So Juliet Cross wrote 6 books about 6 witch sisters in New Orleans, and like they all find like love, basically. They've lived there their whole lives, but vampires, werewolves, grim reapers are all in existence in this world, and she does an amazing job of world building. And he is book 2, I believe. I read book 3 first and then 1 and then 2. It was amazing. I loved all of them. I ordered his book and she's signing it, and it's going to be at my house one of these days. It was like a Kickstarter, so I spent way too much money on it, but I do not care because I love him. His book's not even my favorite, but I just love him like as an entity. Anyway, you may recognize Mr. Damon Salvatore. And then these are vampires. Okay, this book was kind of chaotic. I'm keeping it PG-13. This book, there were 3 vampires, and she ends up being, oh my God, what did they call her? I don't even know what they called her. She ends up being like some mythical creature I've never heard of. I don't know, whatever. But there were 3 of them, and they were all hot. And I actually can't say anything else about them, I don't think. yeah, I can't say anything else about them. I'm sorry. It's basically a vampire orgy book.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And it's 500 pages.
I was like, I think you're going here, but okay. Perfect.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sweating. Okay. No, it was like the first one. No, I can't say it. Anyway, moving on. These are other werewolves. His name's Nico. Can't remember his last name. This is Mateo. These are both from the Stay a Cell series. So okay, let me go back. Sorry, spoiler alert. Okay, these two this fan art is in the books. The one on the left. The one on the right I found on her Instagram, but the one on the left is in the book, which I love that she included fan art. I don't know if it was fan art. She must have paid for it, but yeah. I love that she included art for all 6 of the books because it really like placed them for me. Not that, I mean, this man looks like every other bitch, but it's like the vibe. So we love that. His name is Felix. He's a werewolf, Jesus Christ, from Kimberly Lemming's books. I love her. She's got 3 Mead Mishap books, werewolves, demons, fox demons, dragons. I don't know. I think she's going to have a Kraken book one day. She's kind of alluded to it. She's like built her own little world. The first book was giving kind of like The Hobbit, but like lesser. Like lesser. Like The Hobbit's a little intense, and this was like not as intense. But these were some of the first books that like really popped off this genre for me. Like, we love him. Anyway, Felix was actually the first 5-star of this series too. He's book number 2.
Oh.
This is also Nico.
I'm a fan.
This is Mateo. Like, I mean, that one is also in the book. Like, love him. Actually, no, that's Nico too. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys do not care. You may recognize this man. He's from Vampire Diaries. And then Mr. Tyler Posey and Derek.
Oh, I totally forgot about that show.
Yeah, so these are obviously real people, but I had to include them. These are not even the best photos because there are other ones with like the more werewolf like vibe.
Tyler Posey has nudes out.
Yeah, he does.
I just had to do it.
He also just got married.
He did just get married.
He did.
Lucky girl.
For sure. The thing when I was adding this photo that made me like laugh out loud. Have you guys ever watched Teen Wolf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like the way they had this man running on all fours. Like that set werewolves back like 10 years.
It really did.
Like why?
The special effects did too.
Why did we do that? But whatever, we love him. I don't care. I can't even remember that guy's name. In the show it's Derek Hale, but whatever. Don't know his real name. Doesn't matter. Anyway, whatever. We're gonna get to that too. Aliens. This is kind of controversial, but it's giving caveman, it's giving brute, but we do stan. So this is a whole series. I have not read them all. These are by Elizabeth Stevens, and I am reading the first top left corner like couple right now. I'm reading their book. Here's the thing about alien books. They are also literally like crack cocaine. Like there is something about them that is like, I can read it in like a day and a half. So there's another author. I think she might be next. Yeah. Ruby Dixon. She wrote these aliens. They are from Ice Planet Barbarians. These books, I was like, okay, I will give it a shot. Like what's the harm, I guess? Like I'm not like begging to read them. They're very popular on Book Talk, but I was like, whatever, it's fine, I'll read them. I read one of the books and then all of a sudden I'd finished 4. And I was like, what? Like within like a few days.
So the aliens are like not like the aliens that we think, like the big eyes, big head.
No,
They're
like
I haven't
different
planets.
Right. I haven't read a book in the Ice Planet Barbarian books, there are aliens that give that energy, but they are not the love interest. They're kind of the villains. Yeah.
Okay.
So
because I don't see these as aliens.
Right. They are definitely off planet. That is for sure. Yeah.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay. Basically, that's like kind of what this is giving, actually. And I just like, I think the thing is like, whatever. Okay, these books, most of the time, they are like fated mates, which like basically they're their one true loves. Like they're
star-crossed lovers.
Yeah, and it's like the mating bond like tugs at them, like, and they're like, oh, like you are like my mate, like whatever. They don't say I love you because they're aliens. Most of the time it's like a breeding thing, but it's fine. But the thing is that is like good about it is there's never really a breakup because they are meant to be together and they both know that.
Okay.
So they don't have like, that's like my least favorite thing is when an author tries to do a breakup as like a moment of conflict. Like they need something to happen in their book and they don't know what to do. So like, oh, maybe they break up or maybe like one of them thinks the other one's cheating on them. And it's like, okay, we have read that a million times. Like we do not care. But I feel like paranormal authors are able to do so much more because you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can literally, you wrote the world. You could have her not be able to live on his planet and like, but he will not leave her because he can't. Like mentally, physically, emotionally, he will not leave her. So I just feel like alien books like hit so hard.
love that.
I don't know.
Okay.
One more photo. It's fine. I don't know if they're hot. I can't decide,
Yeah,
but
so-
their books are amazing.
A 12-pack.
Yeah,
He's
that's a
like
little.
50 pack anyway.
Ignore the tail. It's also kind of giving. Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh, the tail, didn't notice.
Me neither. They talk about it in the book, unfortunately. The problem is I read these, like a few of them, and then saw the movie Avatar, and I was like, wait, like I kind of get it. Anyway, moving
Okay.
on. Oh, there's more. This is also Ruby Dixon. I don't know. I found this on Google. I don't know about the top right. I do not care about that woman, but whatever. The other ones. Are you
Do not
okay?
care about that one.
Well, she's like one of the characters.
So
Built
funny.
Different.
Which one are you looking at? The guy in the middle.
Tall.
Oh, yeah. He's like kind of giving
It's built real different.
his like 20 pack. Is that what you're looking
Yes. This pack's on the side too.
at? Yeah, that's so real.
Oh man,
They're like also 8 foot tall or something crazy,
I can see that.
which like kind of adds to the whole thing.
I can see that.
I thought that was the last photo, and then guess what? It wasn't. I
Jump
love
scare.
that. You mentioned orcs / ogres. I think you said ogres. I
I said
think.
ogres. Yeah.
Okay, I think orcs are going to be the new big thing. There must be a lot of books out there. They're now being recommended to me, and there are a lot being published right now. These all come in at the same time. Those two girls published those books on like the same day because they posted a TikTok together and said, when your best friend writes like an orc book and you also write an orc book. And I was
so
like,
cute, actually.
okay.
I love that for them.
I haven't read them. I read the middle one. It's okay. I don't think I liked it that much. I loved him. I remember that. I remember writing in my review, what about the people he murdered? What murder? I love him.
What murder?
Yeah. But I think, like, I know The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings has been out for, like, 65 years or something. And the movies have been out for literally 25 years. But I really feel like there's a renaissance right now for orc guys. They also give Brute Caveman, but on a lesser scale.
Okay.
They are more civilized. They're okay. I don't know. I don't have much to say. I just wanted to include them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I think we're not necessarily midway. We might be a little more than halfway through some of the photo references. Thoughts so far? I'm curious. I feel like I've just been gabbing.
Vampires, yes. Werewolves, yes.
Okay. Then we divulge and it's kind of like maybe not.
Orcs.
Honestly, the aliens were giving.
Yeah.
Honestly, the alien, I think I talked them up though too. I'm like,
You did.
those books are
I think
crack.
you did, but I also was like very interested because I've been reading like romance books as well, and it's like they always are like, oh, they get together, they're happy, and then boom, one thing, and you're like, I read this in the last 5 books, so that is like cool. That alien, romances, they have the tie, and so they don't do the breakup; they just do other things.
Yeah, I like that too.
Interesting.
Grim Reapers, there's not much going on here. This is also the Stay a Spell series.
That's my type.
The white man
That is your
tattoos. Their books were actually kind of giving. I don't have much to say, but I was like waiting because at the time their books 4 and 6 of the series, and I had read vampire and werewolf books before, so I was reading the series and I'm like, okay, like I love it. Don't get me wrong, but like kind of she'd been hinting at Grim Reapers for 3 books. I'm like kind of ready, and they definitely didn't disappoint.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't have much to say about them. Just wanted to include because there's not many books about them, but I would love for there to be more. If any authors are listening,
Yes.
please, please, the Grim
rolling.
Reapers. These pop the fuck off too.
Dragon.
Okay, I forgot to include one of the Oh no, on the left is a dragon. He's a dragon. He shifts into a dragon, which is actually a vibe. That could have been its own category as like shifters. That also the fox demon shifts too, I think. I think.
I don't mess with demons.
He was a novella, so his book was like 50 pages, so it was like it wasn't real like that. I hate novellas. I'm sorry, I read them. Anyway, don't have much to say, I don't think, but they are definitely like up there for me. I know you're looking at the right photo.
I can't stop looking at it.
Okay. That book I have issues with because it was too short.
Oh, it wasn't enough.
The problem is, like, she was trying to do so much in this book, and then, like, she couldn't deliver because it was, like, 150 pages.
That's it?
Maybe 200, maybe.
That's like a prequel.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was because there was, well, it's not a prequel because they exist in the other books, but they are not, like, it's a spinoff. The next books are about other people in the universe, so it's, like, not really, but we love, the one on the left, Fallon, we literally love him. He is the book 1 for Kimberly Lemming. I fell in love with him, and I fell in love with the series. Moving on, I had to include some others. I don't think I've read any books with any of these, but I just like stumbled upon some photos, and
of course
they might be on my list to read. We have The Kraken. I will be reading this one day.
Little Mermaid, but like adult.
I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like,
right.
That you did it.
Right. More that maybe. Because Little Mermaid's kind of giving Ursula. Like, there wasn't really a Kraken, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess it's the same vibe.
Yeah.
The tentacles. I have read a tentacle book. I don't think that hasn't, I did not include it, but like, I feel like we might need to talk about it.
A tentacle book?
Actually, that's not PG. Gargoyle. Haven't read it. It is literally on my recommended pages.
Oh, sorry. I read that as Hard Rock Gargoyle.
Do they sell t-shirts?
That's what I was like, okay. No, Rock Hard is actually worse.
We're going to the Hard Rock Gargoyle.
Is that in Baltimore?
Dyslexia.
It's the off-brand.
Oh my god.
I think Rock Hard's.
The next one is also Gargoyle.
I get why it's called Rock Hard because gargoyles
right,
are stone.
Right.
It's great. I get it, but just maybe not PG to call something Rock Hard.
Well, if you look at the cover, I don't think the book is PG.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So
funny.
There's that.
I mean, I would be intrigued if I was in a bookstore and I saw something that said Rock Hard, instantly picking it up.
For sure.
And then the gargoyles, just another added bonus.
For sure. I will report back when I have more to talk about on them. I just wanted to include, and there's one more, I think. I did read this book. It's an elf.
I could do
it's
elves.
Giving.
Okay.
I could do elves.
They're okay. There's like not as much world building, I feel like. They're kind of boring because they remind me of wizards in that they just do magic usually, and it's like, okay.
It's not enough.
You're not going to shift into a dragon to save my life?
Seems like the other guy did that, but
Yeah. You're
I
like,
guess you can't.
You're
so.
like not a caveman alien trying to kill that lion that's trying to eat me.
Interesting, but
I'm trying to think of other scenarios. I've read some shit, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
It's literally crazy. Okay, the funny thing about this book is I really liked it, and then I read the second one, and it's basically the exact same book.
Boo.
It's like I think it was Dragon King. And then it was the same plot, like literally the same plot, copy and paste. And I was like, okay.
Dark Elf King.
So haven't read the third one yet, but maybe I'll get there one day. All right. So at this point, you guys might be wondering, like, what the fuck is wrong with Katie?
No.
I'm not wondering that.
No.
Okay. Maybe it's a good thing I put the photos first.
Yes. Yes. We needed the visuals.
We needed the visuals.
It really,
we needed
like,
to get into the world with you.
Easter.
And now.
Right. I think it's fun that anything can happen. I know I mentioned that for the aliens, but I think that's like arguably true about all of them. I read a book in which the main character was kidnapped and brought into like a vampire blood ring den, and he had to save her. And it was like, that does not happen in your regular romance book. It just doesn't.
No. That's fun. It keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
And you never know what to expect.
Exactly. In one book, one of the girls died, and then he literally brought her back to life. Spoiler alert, that's one of the Grim Reaper books.
That one.
No, you weren't. It was book 6 in the series. You were not reading it.
6? How can the Grim Reaper bring someone back to life?
That's his power.
I was like, wait a minute.
Like, I mean,
kills
We're suspending
people.
belief. Like that's right.
I'm
Her
too
world,
logical.
Yeah. Her world was built in that like Grim Reapers. Okay, I don't know too much of the lore, even though I read all the books. They're also kind of mysterious. Like nobody knows much about them, but they're
That
good
helps.
with technology. They're like elusive. They like one of them like kills people for sure. He's like a monster and. It's kind of hot. And then the other one brings people back to life. That's like he can go to the other side. So I guess that is kind of Grim Reaper-esque in that he can like go there.
Yeah, that
and
makes
then,
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So he's not normally bringing people back to life. I think that's like probably an issue. Space-time continuum situation. I mean, not that we're getting that far in these books, but generally speaking. But yeah, anything can happen, and I just love that. Oh, I gave some examples, Romeo and Juliet, because sometimes like I've read a few that are like, we can't be together because like you're a werewolf and I'm not, like whatever, that whole thing. Temptation, vampires like want to eat them and you're like, you can't eat me, whatever.
I love that.
It's like giving. Escapism, these books are so fake. But you don't care.
It
doesn't need to be real.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Nothing needs to exist, even if you want it to. Dark romance on steroids. For the people that love dark romance, where people are blood play, knife play, there's not that much of that here, but people die and come back to life, and it's a good time.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know if it's really on steroids. I just thought it was funny. Fated mates we've discussed. This kind of happens not just in alien books. I've seen it with werewolves too. I think that's kind of the
thing for werewolves. Yeah,
I've also seen that.
Yeah,
I think that's
well.
common in like kind of pop culture
Imprinting.
werewolves too. Okay, we're skipping the imprint, but same energy. I love where you're going with that.
Okay,
same energy. No third act breakup. That is actually, and even if they're not fated mates, that is a very limited thing that happens in any paranormal romance is a third act breakup, because usually it is something external to the couple, just generally like again, she maybe gets kidnapped, maybe gets whatever. Third act breakups do not exist, and that makes my perfect world.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than getting 400 pages into a book and then breaking up over something fucking stupid. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. End of rant. So here's some rankings.
We got a chart.
Okay. So I thought this would be fun. It was on my Instagram. Don't look at me. I have read 31 books this year that are monster romance. We are aiming for more by the end of the year. And I have compiled this graph that shows, like, on average, what I'm ranking each genre. Okay. So as you can see, Grim Reaper and Werewolf are my top two. Honestly, not beating it out by too much, like Dragon, Elves, and what was that? I put multi. I think there was one book that had two paranormal people, but they were different. One of them was an elf and one of them was an orc, and I was like, what do I include them as? So I just did multi. But yeah, werewolves are like,
you've been true to that. You've been true to werewolves.
Oh, for
Since
sure.
the beginning.
I think there's like a protective thing there. I have no reason to like have it protect. No, actually, you know what? We'll get into this. When I was a kid,
9/11.
Right, we're going back to 9/11. No, we're going a little past 9/11.
Okay.
Similar time frame, maybe.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I had nightmares about being kidnapped. I had to go to therapy for it.
Oh my gosh, Katie.
So maybe werewolves can protect me.
It's underlying. Yeah.
Truly.
Anyway.
Okay. 9/11, post-traumatic
PTSD.
I mean,
Yeah.
Let's keep the good vibes going.
For sure. I just thought this was interesting because vampire was way lower than I expected. It's the second lowest. And then ghost/demon, we are not surprised by. I keep reading them, but I kind of hate ghost books. Okay.
I do not like ghosts.
You've mentioned this about, so this does not include, like I read Lockwood and Co. That is a fantasy series that is like, so even though there are ghosts involved, there's romance, but it's between two humans. So it is not on this list. Okay. It's a fantasy book. It's not, so that would be way higher if that were the case. But Ghost, I literally read this book and I wanted to like it. It was like, okay, also, I have a whole issue with this author because she wrote this book and it's my own fault for reading the acknowledgments like midway through the book. Like, I was like, let me just read. I just want to see. She wrote this book in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Oh.
Too close.
I cut to the back of the book. It's based on Williamsburg.
No.
Miss Ma'am, Harrisonburg exists in Virginia. Like
It's
an hour west of
it's not
Richmond.
even far?
So I'm reading this whole book thinking they're in fucking Harrisonburg. They're in Williamsburg.
They're down the street.
They're down the fucking street.
They're down the street. Wow.
So I had a whole gripe to pick with her, but then she was trying to do this. It almost was giving nonfiction a little bit. The ghost does not actually exist in real life because I Googled it because it felt kind of real. He was like a pirate, which makes sense in Williamsburg. Like they're coming up the fucking James River. But he was a pirate and then he died. And like, okay, it got into this whole thing where like she was in time traveling back in time to like save his life because he was put on trial for something he didn't do. And it was just like a lot of the time authors like to do like a slow burn. So like I think that's what she was aiming for. Like, but because he's literally a ghost, like they like couldn't do anything. They couldn't kiss. They could like, it was just like, he just like was like,
He's just there.
He was just like,
it's like
there.
an entity.
Yeah. And it was just, it just like, it didn't help with the slow burn because there was no tension because he doesn't exist. Like he's not there. So it was just like, whatever. That really brought that ranking down because like, I can't get over the Williamsburg thing. I'm sorry. That's like my own issue. But it's just like they're two different places. If Harrisonburg did not exist in Virginia, I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like it does. And they're completely different locations.
100%.
yes.
I'm like
1,000%.
not imagining
She didn't do
colonial
research.
Williamsburg.
No.
Whatever. That was the vibe. Like he was a pirate in colonial Williamsburg, so he's being like tried by the governor.
Sense.
Look, I mean, whatever. I got through it because I needed to. I was like, you know what? I got to see this out. Like, it wasn't even that many pages. I'm so sorry. Shout out to that girl. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sure your other books are good. She's got like a space cowboy one that I wanted to read, but after reading that one, I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like,
that one sounds interesting.
It'll take some time. You'll read it eventually.
Maybe. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Anyway, love a good werewolf. That's my opinion.
Here we go.
I will not be taking criticism on these. Okay, so I wanted to include some notable authors for our viewers that are listening. If you're looking for a place to start, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm not an expert. I do not have everybody on here. These are some of my faves. Kimberly Lemming, I have a photo of her Goodreads. As you will see, I have read literally every book that she's written.
That time I got drunk and saved a demon.
Yep. Got a 4-star from me.
Yeeted a love potion at a werewolf.
See, isn't that so fun? Isn't that so fun?
I do like that title a lot.
Yeah. The other one was the time I drugged a dragon and saved a human or something, but she had to change it because she got a publishing deal, and they were like, you can't put that you drugged someone in the title. Like it was like funny, like yeeted, you know, like it was like it was giving, but she had to change it. But that's okay. It's still a good book. We love her. I literally love these books so much. I also bought a signed book from her. It's coming in January. Fingers crossed.
I love that.
I hope it actually comes. Juliet Cross, I have talked about her a lot. She's the one who wrote the Grim Reapers, Vampires, Werewolves, the Six Sisters series. She also just got a publishing deal. Like, we love that for all of them, except get them now on Kindle Unlimited before their publishing deal takes them off of Kindle Unlimited. Oh, yeah, I already write this down.
Noted.
Because once,
Gotcha.
like, publishers are greedy in that way, like, where they want the money for the book, so they'll take it off Kindle Unlimited and make you buy it on the Amazon store, and it's like, I just want to read these books. Like, I just want to love them. And it is what it is. But I highly recommend. As you can see, I've read all of these. She's currently in the process of writing a spin-off. So all of her couples that ended up together have kids in the future. And, like, their kids are going to be, like, the next generation of the series.
I love that.
Yeah. Love her books. Ruby Dixon, she wrote The Ice Planet Barbarians. As you can see, I read at least 4 of them. And they're crack. That's that on that.
Wow.
Katie Robert, I go back and forth with her because, like, as you can see, I read Neon Gods and Electric Idol. They are mythology, hence why they were not on this list. But, like, I read Neon Gods, 5-star, loved it. Electric Idol, kind of not giving, kind of boring. So kind of, she's also the one who wrote that dragon book that had the green guy on the cover.
I was just about to say, I think her name was familiar.
Yep. And so she has a lot of variety in that regard. So she has the gargoyle books. She also has a demon, a kraken. So, like, she's just got, like, some different things going on. So even if you don't like one thing by her, you might like something else. She also wrote the Vampire Orgy book. So, like, she's kind of got a lot going on. Yeah. And Elizabeth Stevens, she is not new to me in that I have followed her on Instagram for a long time. I think I follow all of them on Instagram. But as you can see, I'm currently reading Taken to Viraxia, and it is crack cocaine. I'm obsessed with it. And I will probably be reading the rest of the books in the series. TBD. Who knows?
Enemies to lovers.
Oh yeah, I didn't even like read any of their bios. I just thought like, let me give them a little shout out. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, like as you can see, she's only got like 3,000 ratings, and like that is a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but there are some popular books on Book Talk that have way more, and I just feel like let's shout out some of these.
We love that.
Yeah. Moving on. Okay, so here's some maybe like things things that I read that I was like, I'll read it, and then I read it and I was like, huh. Okay, there's one on here that you guys are definitely like, it's fine. Get in My Swamp is on here, and that is...
It's the picture, really. It's not even like the Get in My Swamp. It's the
No,
picture
it's
of
the Get in My Swamp.
Oh,
So-
I'm just cackling at this picture.
So the thing is, this was going around TikTok, and I was like, I just need to know. Like, people are talking about it, and I just need to know. I was not like interested necessarily. However, I did read it in 2 days, and I do monthly recaps of the books I read, and that one definitely, it was on there. There is one book that did not make it. I had to literally, okay, I guess I'll talk about it at the end. It'll be in one of these next, I didn't put it on the next slide, but I'll bring it up at the next slide. But this definitely, I read 15 other books that month, but people replied to my story, the swamp one? The oak one? I didn't hate it. On Jack's head, it's about the Headless Horseman. I did not hate it.
Sounds like a good plot, though. The Headless
You'd be
Horseman.
surprised.
Sounds like cool.
Okay, the thing is, I think he was also a ghost, actually. I think he might have been a ghost.
That's probably
So
why.
that's like interesting to me that I liked that. Finding Their Omega. This is interesting because this opens up a whole nother thing that I'm not ready to talk about. But there's this whole sphere and book genre about the Omegaverse, and it's basically like alphas, omegas, like alphas like rule the world. Like
Yeah, the
it's kind
ABO.
of, yeah, it's like kind of giving like fated mates on steroids, I guess. Like so I was not like going into it expecting to like it. I was just like curious. I was like, okay, it was a shifter technically. I think they did technically turn into werewolves. They were listed under my werewolf shifter column, but I did not hate it. I don't think I rated it that high, but I remember like leaving the book and thinking like, I would read another Omegaverse book.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on Get in My Swamp because it
I
just
knew.
looks like a Love Island spinoff.
Oh my God. It's kind of giving that.
Like it looks like a Love Island spinoff for ogres, and I would totally watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
Well, okay, so that's the hardest thing about that book was like, it is very much like Shrek fanfic that got published. Like, his name is literally Beck,
No, it's not.
and her name is Leona. And
No,
her
it's not.
Yes. So it was very hard. Like in the book, she's like, and his abs, and I'm thinking like Shrek doesn't have abs. He's like fat, right? Like that's so it's like she's trying to like rewrite
it's
the
a
narrative.
yassified version of.
Oh, for sure. For
Got it.
sure.
Got it.
Yes, a fine version.
For sure. That's it.
I love it.
The next slide is where I didn't include a certain book, but I guess we will talk about it. We're Going to Hell. These books.
Who's we?
The author who wrote these
I was about to
books.
say.
Please. I'm leaving this here for a moment. I haven't read these. I would like to formally announce that I have not read these because, please, what the actual fuck?
I think
the Loch Ness monster, like
Siggy Shade is trolling.
oh for sure.
There's no way.
I have been trying like. Oh, it's a fake name for sure. They do not exist.
it has to be.
I have looked because
But
I'm like, who is writing these?
Who's the audience for the Loch Ness Monster?
So unfortunately, I think I am. I have not read them.
We're bleeping that. We're bleeping that.
The problem is
No one's staying in. No, I'm
the
kidding.
reason that I think it's for me is not because I'm interested. I probably will read these out of like I need to know.
Yeah.
Right? Like I need to
Interest,
know.
yeah.
However,
No, please elaborate.
Breeding with Bigfoot has been on my For You page as like I don't know. Erin has definitely seen these. Like there are authors who, and some readers actually, who will make videos like promoting certain books. Like they will put quotes from the book to like entice you.
Yes.
They're like, they'll put quotes about like what they thought was interesting or like a scene that they really liked. I have seen one of those. I've seen a few of those videos for the Bigfoot one. So I think, unfortunately, it is me. Even
You're
though
the targeted audience.
even though I'm not the target audience. So we are going to hell.
Oh my gosh.
This is the side of paranormal romance that the girls will not tell you about, and you need to beware because you should not read these books.
so funny.
Someone is making a living doing this.
I'm in the wrong field.
I'm sorry. I feel like I
We all
didn't
should
mean
have
for us
just
to go
kept
this
on
far.
doing fanfic,
Okay.
writing fanfic, and then we would have been
Good.
rich
That
and
is
famous.
so true. I have to move on. There is another We're Going to Hell tab, but it is slightly different.
It's the we that's getting me.
So these next books are not paranormal romance. However, they needed to be included because I think people might loop them in. I think people might be thinking that.
Okay.
These books are inanimate objects with consciousness.
No.
Yep.
No.
You are reading that right. A door and
No.
a pillow. I have not read these either. These have been popping off online because people think they're funny, and I'm sure they are. This did not need to be written. Neither of these books needed to be written.
Not a feather pillow, though.
Right. I don't have any comment except also do not read these books. For real.
Did you read them?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't. And it has crossed my mind again because like I just feel like I need to know, but I don't think I can. I
Right.
just don't think I can do
Yeah.
it. I just don't think I can do it because they literally. Someone posted about it again because people think it's like a funny thing that these books exist, and it is like objectively. But someone posted it on something. I remember reading a quote from the pillow, I think, and it is like it's not even well written. Like even for I think it's 150 pages or less, and it's like it's not
It
even
has to
worth
be.
the pages. I don't think like it just isn't. So yeah, I need to move on quickly. So this is the current state of the world that I'm living in. This is what my Kindle looks like.
Okay, love.
Okay.
Do we love? I'm not really sure.
It's all cohesive.
Every single one has a different elf prince, siren duke, dragon, fae, orc. Like, please. This is what I'm being bombarded with by Jeff Bezos.
He knows what you like.
Does he? I've read 134 books this year and I've only read 31 monster romance. So what does that say about Mr. Bezos's algorithm?
He's trying to push what he knows.
Well, that might be true actually a little bit now that you mention it because most of these books have multiple ones of a series. So as you can see, Bound to the Elf Prince, that is by the same author who wrote The Dark Elf Prince, who also wrote The Dragon King, who also wrote, she's got 8 books in the series, Captivated by the Fae. I mean, she's literally got 8 books in the series. So, you know, if you read one, you might read 8. That makes them more.
There you go.
1 to 8 is pretty big jump.
It goes faster than you think, unfortunately.
I can imagine.
Especially because depending on the book, they kind of roll together. I was not going to say this, but I think I will. So I'm actually kind of interested in the Siren one. Like, I'm curious. I've not read a book with like a merman yet, but
Which one is that?
it's kind of like the
The
4th
middle?
one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Duet with the Siren Duke. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
duh. It says siren.
It just
on
like
the front.
might be a fun vibe. Who knows? You know, he's got a tail. So that'll be interesting.
How's that work?
Couldn't tell you. Haven't read it. It has leaked into my everyday life. When we went to London, there is a store. It's called the Monster Supply Store. It's a kid's store. So it's like, it's not meant to be like anything questionable. I got this mood ring from there, which is why I wore it today. It was literally
love it.
called a near ring, and it's so funny. It's literally just a mood ring. So like I bought a mood ring and that's on me. But like the little thing that it came with says like if it's black, like death is coming. If it's green, your prince is nearby. If it's yellow, there's an orc that's coming to get you. So it's like they made it fun.
Yeah.
They have just random things. I got like Earl Grey tea from there, and it says like made with real earls because it's like, you know, it's
like
sort of
that.
supernatural. And I had a photo of the front, but clearly I need permission to access, which is fine. It's annoying. It's fine. But on the left, there's a monster height chart, which is so fun. So we go into the shop 5 minutes before it opens, but the girl's got the door open. And she's like, come on in. Like, she's so nice. She's so great. And I was just looking around because I'd looked online, so I kind of knew what they had, but I was like, it'd be fun to go and just like see it because it's like funny. And she was like, oh, while you're here, like you should measure yourself and see what monster you are. So unfortunately, I was a human.
Oh.
There is literally like 1 inch of space that says average human, and it was me. And I was actually like so
What
disappointed.
did Scott get?
He got werewolf.
Oh,
Okay. Oh,
look at
What
that.
can I say? He was only an inch away from vampire, so like there's that too, like a
Who needs
vibe.
a horoscope, you know?
Exactly. You just need a monster height chart. So if you're 5'5"
We love
/
that for
5'6",
Scott.
you're a human. Putting that out there. And then the other photo I had was from the Renaissance Festival because like I just felt like it gave the vibes of like ogre at work moment. So this has all secretly been an ad for my book that I'm writing. I'm
Okay,
kidding.
it's finally out.
Well, I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm actually writing a book.
You're writing a book?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
So the thing is, I started it earlier this year. I'm 20,000 words in, and I have hit a block, but like I would love to get back to it. It's set in Hatteras, like my favorite place in the world, and it's going to be a merman book.
I love that.
Yeah, so
That's so awesome.
we'll see. I feel like putting it out there means I actually have to finish it now because I kind of like haven't written in a while. I got to a part like I know what I want to happen next in the story, but I've gotten to a part where like I just cannot write it. Like I just can't do it, and it will be PG. Scott has like helped me brainstorm a little bit because like we'll go on walks and talk about it, and I'm like, he's like, no, like you have to include more fun things, and I'm like, I just don't think I can do that. I just like as a person have to just keep it like fun and fresh. So it's gonna be a merman and a human, and that's all I got.
That's
I don't
so
have any other.
awesome.
There's
Love.
no publishing date. It doesn't even really exist yet, but I have 60 pages of it written.
Oh my gosh.
And
I was like, you have 20,000 words. It exists.
well,
Yeah,
I guess
it's
it does
something.
exist. It does. I don't know. We'll see if it ever happens, but I have looked into like self-publishing on Kindle Unlimited, and it is supposedly relatively easy. My sister's friend Devin, shout out Devin, because I know she listens to these episodes, unlike some of these fakers out here.
Yes.
Has offered to like read it and like pseudo edit it. I am nervous because I cannot take any like if somebody reads it and hates it, like I can't deal with it. There's a lot of things that I'll do and it'll be fine. Like, you know, if people hate this podcast, like it is what it is. But like writing this book, I'm like, if you hate it, like please do not tell me. Like I literally cannot know.
Oh my gosh.
But also, if people hate this podcast, don't tell me.
Don't tell us
Okay.
either.
That's fair too. That's fair too. Keep giving us 5 stars.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we love that.
Can't wait for the launch party.
Yeah.
Same.
If it ever, I don't know. I keep saying
No
if it ever
ifs.
happens.
It's
I know it'll have to
No,
be like,
when?
yeah, when I'll go home and write it. I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like I can't say too much. Okay, I want it. I don't have a title yet. My working title, which I will definitely be sued for by Pharrell, is Something in the Water because like,
Like get in my swamp.
well, no, but like I'm from this area. People always say there's something in the water, and this, obviously
That's
the festival.
Perfect name.
And then I mean, he literally is something in the water. He's a merman.
That's
so like,
literally the perfect name.
I know, but I will literally get sued.
You didn't trademark it.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
He might have trademarked
It's a different market.
It is. Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. And I could always include like a moniker. Like a lot of these books on Kindle have like, you know, the name and then it'll have like a paranormal romance or something like that. Like an enemies to lovers. Like I could do something that if I really needed to. But
That's a great name.
nobody steal my idea. That's why I'm not saying any more details about the book. It's merman. That's all you need to know. And it's set in Hatteras.
That's that.
When I have more details, I will relay them. It may be months, but it's fine. I think this is my last slide. I would just like to shout out public libraries.
Yeah.
A lot of the books I've mentioned have been on Kindle Unlimited. I had a lot of screenshots from Kindle. We hate Jeff Bezos. However, I have gotten my money's worth on Kindle Unlimited because it's only $10 a month, and I've clearly read more than
10 bucks a month.
right,
Yeah.
something like that. However, the public library, this is the platform that I would love to talk about libraries on. I talk about it on every platform. I talk about it on Instagram. I talk about it on Twitter. I talk about it often. It's been on my Be Real, I think, too. But a lot of people online are very much into like buying books, and they are like making get readies with me to like go to Barnes and Noble and stuff like that. And I mean, I just feel like there are people who are collectors and like have libraries and like that's its own separate thing, but like we do not need to be buying every single book that you read.
No.
If you buy it and then you hate it, then what? Now you own it, and that's annoying. You spent $15. Some of these books are $25, $30 for hardback. Like some of the special editions, there are. I mean, I know I talked about buying certain books in this whole presentation. But I also just feel like those books, I know that I love them. I have reread one of them already this year. I've read it twice this year, so I will be reading it again, and it will be signed by the author. So I love that. But like for all these other books, I mean, we can't be buying them. And libraries are in the 21st century. They have audiobooks. They have online books. I've read a lot of ebooks this year that are from the library. I have a list of 10 books on hold at a time, and they come in staggered, and I'll walk to the library and go pick it up and then drop it off when I'm done. And it's just like, libraries are very accessible. And I just would love for everyone to know that.
We love that PSA.
Because too many people are buying books or like saying things about buying books, and it's just like, we don't need to buy them.
No.
When I move, how am I going to move 200 books?
Literally.
They're heavy. That's my last slide.
Shout out public libraries.
Shout out public libraries.
Literally the title.
I am going to stop sharing so we can all be on the screen.
Love that.
Any final thoughts from anyone? Any final questions?
I honestly loved it.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah?
I'm very intrigued. I'm going on a deep dive today for sure.
Yeah.
Or tonight.
Supposedly.
No, I'm going on a book talk deep dive. I need to
Yeah?
see what some of these quotes are, some of these excerpts.
Same. Oh, same.
I got to know.
I don't know.
I gotta know now. There's no way I could not know now.
There are some things you should not know.
Well,
Like the Loch Ness Monster book. We'll keep that above board.
it's like a car accident. I just gotta see it.
Well, that's how I ended up on some of these books.
I mean, I won't
Yeah.
read the whole book, but I definitely need to see like some
quotes.
quotes.
The quick TikTok
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was just kind of an accident, you know? All of this. Was it? It was because of 9/11. That was planned, not an accident. Actually, okay, to be honest, I didn't see it coming. Even though I knew that I liked Twilight, and I knew that I liked
9/11 coming or Twilight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like this whole thing. Like I was thinking, I do think it obviously is one of my favorite like subgenres of book, like, you know, generally speaking. And I didn't see that coming. I was like at one point like love enemies to lovers, and like there are aspects of those in these books, but I don't know. I just feel like anything can happen.
I love that though.
I think that's the thing. Anything
fun.
can happen.
That's fun.
Yeah. Pirates, ghosts.
Anything.
Loch Ness.
That's
Tentacles.
like, I think that was recently published. Oh yeah. I think the Loch Ness one was recently published because I've seen some of the other ones before, online and whatnot. That one, when I went to look this up to take screenshots, was there, and I was like, "Hello, new book?" Question mark. That one shocked me.
That's so funny.
But yeah, again, I am not an expert. I feel like besides that one part that we will be cutting, it stayed PG.
It did.
And honestly, like that's not what these books are about, generally speaking. There are aspects of, you know, things happening in any romance book. However, there's a plot in some of these books too.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here for.
The plot.
I am here for the plot.
There's a plot in some of these.
Some of them.
Well, you guys know which one doesn't have a plot for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
Stuffed.
Right. Exactly. Supposedly, there are chapters from the Pillow's point of view. How? Who is doing this?
You're joking. All of the books and like genres you said until
Yes.
the inanimate objects of conscious. I was like, okay.
Well,
like,
and I'm not
I was like,
promoting them. Let's put that out there.
But then that one, I was like, there's no aspect I can see getting behind.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of the times people say, like, well, don't judge someone else's, like,
We're judging.
like, that is like,
You're judging.
That's the one.
that's, it's, that, hello? You're thinking, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just like
can't
not
condone that behavior.
No, for sure. No. I was just about to joke, like, cut to me reading it in 2 weeks, but I don't. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I'm not doing it.
Sis, I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not. I'm serious.
Okay.
We will bully you so hard if you read those.
I can't do it. I mean, there's one thing, like, Oh, Jesus. It's one thing about like things that like are fake, like Bigfoot, but it's another to like give
Inanimate.
consciousness to
Yeah.
And like
a pillow.
Because where
like-
does it end?
yeah, right. Because there was one book that I read that had it was not like this in any. It was a sword that was able to talk, but it was not. It was not the romance. It was not the love interest. It was like a side character, and it's like that is fantasy. Like
Yeah,
that is fantasy.
Yeah.
You can make inanimate objects real in fantasy, and that's fine.
Yes.
But like as a love interest, you cannot make
We're
an
not,
inanimate
no.
object into something real. That's just
my
like
gosh.
the line. It's like you can't do
There
it.
has to be a line.
There
Exactly.
has to.
Yeah.
And it's in cement. It is not in the sand. It is like we will never be able to cross.
That's true. That's good to hear. It's reassuring to hear.
I'm really glad you say that because I promise I'm not crazy.
No, we don't think you're crazy.
Okay. Erin's kind of giving me like,
Erin's giving.
yeah, she's giving like,
No. I don't think you're crazy. Too funny.
well, that's all I have. I
Wow.
really hope I hit everything that I wanted to because even till today, I was thinking about things I wanted to include, like going to that monster store. I thought about it today. I was like, oh my God, we did that. Like, so I don't know. Hopefully that's it.
This will reach the right audience.
I'm not sure it will. This might be our least listened to episode.
It might be our most listened to for book talk. You never know.
I guess I'll have to post on BookTok. I don't know what I'm
We'll
going to
see.
post. I was just
that one might
three of
be
us
on your
looking
account,
at
though.
aliens. Like,
Just all of us.
just thinking,
Interesting.
guess like post the 9/11 moment. The reveal.
That's it.
Okay, now I need to know. Did you hate Twilight? Just generally. You can be honest with me. Just in general, even up until now. Like,
I like Twilight,
oh, okay. Okay.
but I was an HP girly, so
Okay, fair. Fair. Two sides of the coin.
I liked it though. I liked the color grading was great.
Oh, for sure.
It was really cool.
Yeah. The first movie was an indie movie, and then it popped off.
Yeah, so I'm a fan, but
Shout out Catherine Hardwicke.
HP really had my heart. So
That's fair.
Same.
And it did come earlier. I mean, generally. Are we doing Loves and Icks this episode?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Why not? I can go.
Okay, yeah. You go.
No one else wants to. Which one do I want to start with? My love is I love that Jungkook from BTS has a TikTok, and I love that he's been posting on it. 2 videos specifically. One, he posted a TikTok with my favorite boy from this band called Astro, Chanu. So they did a little dance to his song. And 2, he's dancing topless on his balcony.
Did you send us that video?
I was like, you're
Or
joking.
me?
What?
I
Did
don't
you
remember
send us
getting
that video,
one.
or did you send it to me? I feel like I've seen it.
I feel like I definitely reposted it on TikTok. I
That's
think
what
I
it
definitely
was.
sent it to you, and I was
It was
like,
a-
"Look at this." Anyway,
think you
it's
did.
literally the song on my mind, the video on my mind, and Army have been putting, because he filmed it in black and white, and they've been putting color to it. They were like, "Look at Jungkook." Anyway,
Interesting.
so love that. Ix is short trips across the country and weather changing. So I was in Virginia for the quickest of seconds. And
This weekend. So I have Erin's location, and I was like, hello?
I have it too.
you both have my location.
You weren't checking on your Sims?
You
I
don't
was
check
like-
your Sims?
There was a lot more dots in East Coast
Okay.
than I
I was in
usually.
Virginia for like the quickest of seconds for my friend's 30th birthday.
It was like 4 days. You left on
Quickest of
Tuesday.
seconds. The quickest of seconds.
Tuesday
We
night.
move on. Anyway, so the weather changed. I'm sniffly now. We move on. And also, being a solo traveler, I hate it because they see that you're like under 40 years old, and they're like, we can switch this person. So I was switched. My flight was supposed to be at 6:53. They were like, will you take the later flight? And I was like, I mean, and they were like, it's at 10 p.m. So I was sitting at
you hear
Dulles for hours. Anyway, so that's an ick.
You got a voucher, though, right?
I did. I got a travel voucher and a
love that.
little $15 meal voucher. So that will pay for my Thanksgiving and December time trip.
We love that.
We do.
My love this week. My love this week has to be just my close friends list on Instagram. Those folks have seen me at my highest and at my lowest. And, I really just appreciate that. Like, none of the craziness has gotten out of my close friends. And, like, it's a small, close-knit group. And I can be unhinged on there. But I have been getting a couple phone calls. Just like,
Really?
hey, girl,
Interesting.
what you're posting on there? You doing okay?
I feel like it hasn't been like
No,
that.
that's-
Like,
yeah.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. What have I been missing?
I thought
Right.
it hasn't been bad, but yeah. So love is the CF for sure. Hate this week. It's gonna be self-hate, guys.
oh no.
I hate that I talk to guys so easily, and I get so involved in it, and then I get so excited, and then it's like, so I'm not talking about any more situationships on here
until
the
situation
episode where we
episode.
record.
and until that episode. Yes,
Okay.
I vow.
I'm sad. I feel like
Scouts honor.
I know.
This is
it's
like the
a
end of an
weekly
era.
catch-up.
I just think I'm jinxing myself. So
I
fair.
see.
yeah,
That makes sense. Like putting it out there into the world, and then it's like for
And then
what?
It's literally been like 2 weeks. So
Oh man, it's sad.
we'll see you next week. But for this week, yeah.
Yeah. My love for this week is that Corey Gamble liked our Instagram reel.
Yes.
We
That was
love
the
you,
best
Corey.
one.
Corey.
I screamed.
When you sent us the screenshot, I
was
sent
fake.
it. Oh, I believed it. I was like, Erin wouldn't lie about this.
No, I just didn't. I thought it was like a account, like a fake account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
I was looking and I was like, oh, I saw Corey Gamble, and then I clicked on it and I saw the blue tick and I was like, I'm back.
It still
And then
means
I was
something on
in T-shirt
Instagram.
Kris Jenner.
For
Please.
real.
Please.
And to piggyback off of that, I love that my sister told my mom, and my mom was like, I love that Corey liked your Instagram. Like, my mom missed reality television. Like,
I love
We
her.
love
Corey's liking it. We don't even know him. We know people that don't like our stuff.
right. Exactly. So what does that say about the people who don't like it?
Exactly. Be
My-
like Corey.
Yeah, be like Corey. Is that like our new bit? Be like Corey.
Just shirts. Be like Corey.
Honestly. Anyway,
Things to think about.
my ick for the week is iPhone storage space. I'm an iPad baby right now. I'm backing up my I am backing up my phone to delete 20,000 photos because I have 16,000 I think. I'm
Do
deleting
you not
them all.
have a iCloud backup for photos?
I'm not paying for an iCloud.
Pay for Google Photos.
It's full.
No, Google Photos.
I know.
Storage.
It filled my whole storage.
You can get more.
I'm not paying for more. So, okay, here's the thing. We have a hard drive with 1 terabyte of space. Like, I will just back it up there and then I'll have the photos. still.
Clearly not.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So the other problem is it's been failing to back up for 24 hours. Scott and I have been trying to back it up and it gets.
No.
Please. It finished the backup and it was verifying the backup and it failed after 2.5 hours. And I was like, we are joking. It went overnight and it failed overnight. And don't worry, Scott will fix this for me. Mr. IT, I love you. Please fix it. But once that's backed up, I can finally, because I can't delete any more apps. Like I've offloaded every single app. And I was telling you about this. I haven't told you yet, Erin. I woke up and my phone literally, I can't even open an app without my phone restarting because I don't have the storage space. It literally restarts my whole phone. And then the phone turns back on after it restarts and it gives me a notification that says, iPhone storage full. I'm like, I know. And then I try to open my phone again and just, it's a brick. It's a brick. And I have 128 gigs. How are we full?
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I've had phones with way less.
Damn you,
64,
Tim Apple.
12.
That's crazy.
What's going on? So Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you've made it this far, you are a trooper, because this episode is not for the weak.
You deserve compensation.
You deserve, if you or any of your friends and family have impacted by mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation. That includes this episode.
Yes.
Moving on, next week we will have more of a discussion and less of Katie talking at everyone.
We loved it.
Enjoy.
We loved it.
Thank you to our listeners.
Thank you. Bye.